just hear this statement. Imran Khan supporters, in fact, are using catapults and lathis to attack the police. The Deputy Inspector General of the Lahore Police, we are told, he's been injured, and there's a major statement that's come in from DIG Operations Lahore during the Zaman Park operations. The DIG Shehzad Bukhari, he says the Lahore police will not leave unless Imran Khan is arrested. Protests have now broken out in Islamabad, in Karachi and multiple other cities in Pakistan. But the big question we're asking here on India Today, as we look at repeated attempts to arrest Imran Khan, is this endgame Imran Khan? Imran Khan has issued a video statement asking his supporters and cadre to keep the fire of protest burning bright even after his arrest. Imran Khan fears his arrest is part of tactics to ensure elections in Pakistan are postponed. We will get you that big story. I'm Gaurav Sawant as always. Let's get started with the headlines on India First. No end to furor in Parliament over Rahul Gandhi's remarks in the United Kingdom. BJP reiterates its demand for an apology from Rahul Gandhi. The Gandhis' trusted Lieutenant Sam Pitroda accuses the BJP of orchestrating this attack against Rahul. India's Oscar glory takes centre stage in Rajya Sabha. Lawmakers cut across party lines to play glowing tributes to the winners, RRR and the Elephant Whisperers. Karnataka BJP strongman Yediyurappa claims son will contest polls. C.T. Ravi hits back, says decision on tickets will be taken by the party high command. The Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh backs the centre's view on same-sex marriage, says matrimony only possible between people of opposite genders, adds Hindus' married life is about sanskar and not sexual enjoyment. Supreme Court junks the government plea for more compensation from Union Carbide in the 1984 Bhopal gas tragedy, says the settlement amount is sufficient. I want to take you to Lahore and get you the latest on the high drama that's playing out on the streets outside Zaman Park. Zaman Park is where Imran Khan has been living for some time in Lahore, in the multiple pictures that you see on your television screen. So you have police from Islamabad. They reached Imran Khan's doorstep in a bid to arrest him in the Tosha Khana case. And we'll explain what this Tosha Khana case is. And it's a very serious charge against Imran Khan. He stands accused of taking gifts that were presented to him as the Prime Minister of Pakistan, then selling them off overseas and pocketing all the money in lakhs and lakhs. In some instances, even crores. Only when he was caught out, a portion of the money was deposited with the state exchequer. Maryam Nawaz of Pakistan Muslim League and daughter of Pakistan's former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif says Imran Khan is the most corrupt leader in Pakistan. She says Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi, she accuses Bushra Bibi of wearing diamonds of 5 carats and multiple such diamonds. She says they've made enough money to last them 3 generations. Now, Imran Khan supporters, and watch those images, those were tear gas shells and water cannons being fired at Imran Khan supporters because they clashed with the police, stopped the police from entering Imran Khan's house. There was a fiery face-off, water cannons and tear gas shells used to disperse this stone pelting mob. Imagine stone pelting and Azadi slogans. Imran Khan supporters were chanting "Hum kya chahte? Azadi." From whom? From the Pakistan police and government. PTI workers resorted to violence. Several police officers, including, we are told, the DIG, they've been injured. Now, Pakistan Rangers have been called in. Incidentally, just a short while back, Imran Khan has released a video statement asking people to continue their fight even after he's arrested and jailed. So let's listen into Imran Khan, listen into a lot of other reactions that are coming in that will show you the political turmoil in Pakistan. Clearly, this is a country that's facing existential crisis right now.
पुलिस मुझे जेल में पकड़ने के लिए आ गई है बाहर, और उनका ये ख्याल है कि जब इमरान खान जेल में चला जाएगा तो कौम सो जाएगी। आपने इनको गलत साबित करना है। आपने ये साबित करना है कि ये जिंदा कौम है। मैं आपकी ये जंग लड़ रहा हूं। मैं तो अपनी सारी जिंदगी जंग लड़ी और लड़ता रहूंगा, लेकिन अगर मुझे कुछ होता है या जेल में जाता हूं या मार देते हैं, तो आपने ये साबित करना है कि इमरान खान के बगैर भी ये कौम जदोजहद करेगी, और ये बदतरीन गुलामी इन चोरों की और ये जो एक आदमी फैसले कर रहा है इस मुल्क के, ये कभी आप कबूल नहीं करेंगे।
डीआईजी साहब से मिलने जा रहा हूं। मेरे साथ और दोस्त हैं, पार्टी की सीनियर लीडरशिप के दोस्त भी हैं। वो मुझे बताएं उनके यहाँ आने का मकसद क्या है, मुझे बताएं। मैं उनकी बात समझता हूं, मुझे वारंट दिखाएं, मैं पढ़ता हूं, फिर मैं खान साहब के साथ जाके बात करूंगा और वकला से मशवरा करूंगा, और फिर एक माकूल रास्ता निकालने की तलाश करूंगा ताकि यहाँ खून खराबा न हो। ये है हमारा मकसद, ये है हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव। यहाँ पहले एक लाश जिले शाह की गिर चुकी है, ये और लाशें न गिराएं। ये मेरा पैगाम है पुलिस से कि बिला वजह यहाँ अफरा तफरी पैदा ना करें, खौफ व हरास पैदा ना करें।
Big attack on Imran Khan by Pakistan's former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Nawaz Sharif says everyone in Pakistan knows how Imran Khan stole money in the Tosha Khana case. We all know Imran Khan is a big thief. Everyone is aware of the plot that was hatched by Imran Khan. Imran Khan should have presented himself before the court without any resistance, without this drama. Nawaz Sharif says Imran Khan is a coward. We are looking at those images of the clashes that are taking place outside Zaman Park. So Imran Khan has not one, not two, not three, but 30 FIRs, 30 criminal cases against him. In all, there are 80 FIRs against Imran Khan. And Imran Khan says these are tactics to keep him in jail. If he's arrested, he'll be arrested in one case, and then he'll continue to be arrested in multiple cases and will be kept in jail for a long time. He says elections should be held immediately, but elections are not being held anytime very soon. Listen in to what Maryam Nawaz has to say, because Maryam Nawaz also has launched a frontal attack. So before I get to Maryam Nawaz, listen in to Nawaz Sharif.
मियां जो तोशा खाना की डिटेल आई है, आप लोग पहले कहते थे कि इमरान खान चोर है, तो अब हुकूमत की आई है डिटेल, उसके बारे में क्या कहेंगे?
आपको तो पता ही है बीबी कि इमरान खान की तोशा खानी में चोरी के क्या वाक़यात है और क्या उसने हरकतें की हैं तोशा खाना के अंदर। मुझसे क्या पूछती हैं?
थैंक यू।
मियां साहब, आपने कहा इमरान खान को गिरफ्तारी दे देनी चाहिए, आपने भी दी थी, आपके साथ भी मियां साहब।
यार ये भी तो पूछने की बात है। ये कल मेरा ख्याल है कि जमानत कैंसिल हुई है ना, तो इज्जत तो इसी में थी कि फौरी तौर पे खुद पेश हो जाता जाके और कहता जी मुझे गिरफ्तार कर लें। लेकिन ये तो बहादुर लोग करते हैं ना, बुज़दिल की काम नहीं करते, वो तो बुज़दिल है।
An honorable thing to have done was to present himself in the multiple FIRs against him, says Nawaz Sharif. It is anyway said, howsoever high you may be, the law is above you. So if the law says there is a non-bailable arrest warrant against him, and we'll show you images of the Lahore police walking towards Imran Khan's Zaman Park residence with a placard with the non-bailable arrest warrant on that placard, and Imran Khan supporters targeting the police. But before I get you more on that story, let's listen in to Maryam Nawaz. One after the other, one scathing attack after the other on Imran Khan.
10 नेशनल असेंबली की सीट से खड़ा हो जाता है, इलेक्शन जीत के वो सीट्स छोड़ देता है। ये कोई बच्चों का खेल है? मुल्क के पैसे लगते हैं इसमें, सारे पैसे इससे निकलवाने चाहिए। फिर मैं देखूं कितनी जगह खड़ा होता है, जिसका घर कोई और चलाता है, जिसका किचन कोई और चलाता है, जिसने मुल्क के तोहफे, मुल्क को मिलने वाले तोहफे बेच बेच के अपनी नस्लें संवार ली, जिसकी बीवी 5-5 कैरेट का एक एक रिंग लेती रही एक एक फाइल पे दस्तखत करने के बदले। जिसने 4 साल में सवाए पैसा बनाने के और कुछ नहीं किया। ताकतवर को कानून के नीचे लाऊंगा। जो ताकतवर दोस्त था 55 अरब रुपया 1.9 मिलियन पाउंड उसकी जेब में डाल दी, अपनी काबीना को भी नहीं बताया। जिसने 4 साल में सवाए पैसा बनाने के और कुछ नहीं किया। ताकतवर को कानून के नीचे लाऊंगा। जो ताकतवर दोस्त था 55 अरब रुपया 1.9 मिलियन पाउंड उसकी जेब में डाल दी, अपनी काबीना को भी नहीं बताया। काबीना पूछती रही जो लिफाफा तुम लहरा रहे हो इसमें क्या है? कोई जवाब नहीं। मैंने पहला गीदड़ देखा है जिसने कारकुनान को अपनी शील्ड बनाया। हालांकि लीडरशिप नवाज शरीफ जैसी हो तो वो कारकुनान की शील्ड बन जाता है। उन्होंने कभी नहीं कहा। दुनिया की मैंने पहली तहरीक ये देखी है जिसमें लीडर घर में छुप के बैठा है और खवातीन को और नौजवानों को सामने रखा हुआ है कि आओ मेरी हिफाजत करो।
Joining me on India First, Alia Shah, a journalist from Pakistan. Fakhar Yusufzai is another journalist who joins us from Pakistan. They've been on ground zero. With me is Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain. Few people understand Pakistan better than the former Kashmir Corps commander. And Colonel Rohit Dev, an expert. Colonel Rohit Dev has also been posted at the line of control. Watches Pakistan very closely. But Alia Shah, I want to begin by asking you, ma'am, what's the latest? Is Imran Khan resisting arrest even now?
थैंक यू सो मच गौरव जी। इस वक्त जो अगर मैं आपको ताजा तरीन सूरत हाल बताऊं तो वो ये है कि सिर्फ जमान पार्क में प्रोटेस्ट नहीं हो रहे बल्कि अब जमान पार्क से निकलकर, लाहौर से निकलकर प्रोटेस्ट पूरे कंट्री में शुरू हो गए हैं। और जो वीडियोस वायरल हो रही हैं इस वक्त, जो इत्तलात आ रही हैं वो ये हैं कि कराची से लेकर KPK तक, गुजरांवाला और जितने और सिटीज हैं पंजाब के, यहाँ सब PTI के सपोर्टर्स निकल रहे हैं बाहर सड़कों पर। और जब उनको रोका जा रहा है तो क्लैशेस की वीडियोस भी आ रही हैं। तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अब हम उस अनार्की की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं कि जो हमें लग रहा था कि शायद सिर्फ जमान पार्क तक रहेगी और लाहौर में ये सब कुछ हो रहा है, इससे आगे नहीं निकलेगा और इमरान खान की गिरफ्तारी हो जाएगी। लेकिन अब ऐसा महसूस हो रहा है कि ये पूरे मुल्क में उन्होंने, क्योंकि इमरान खान के भांजे जो हसन हैं उनकी भी वीडियो वायरल हुई है जिसमें उन्होंने बुला लिया है लाहौर में लिबर्टी चौक पे अपने। तो जिस तरीके से आपको याद होगा 9 अप्रैल की रात थी और इमरान खान के साथ जो भी उन्होंने कहा कि उनको हुआ, अगले दिन उन्होंने जो प्रोटेस्ट बुलाया था पूरे मुल्क में, जिस तरीके से प्रोटेस्ट हुआ था, तो क्या वैसा ही वो एक और प्रोटेस्ट कंडक्ट करने जा रहे हैं। लेकिन अब ऐसा महसूस होता है कि आज की रात बड़ी भारी है इमरान खान पर भी और उनके सपोर्टर्स पर भी, लेकिन इस मुल्क पर भी, क्योंकि ये कंट्री इस वक्त जिस पॉलिटिकल टर्मोइल से गुजर रहा है और जो इकोनॉमी की सिचुएशन है, इस तरह की सिचुएशन का बिल्कुल मुताहमिल नहीं है कि जहां पर पूरे मुल्क में हम देखें कि आग लगी हुई है।
पूरे मुल्क में आग लगी हुई है इस समय और आज की रात बहुत भारी होगी। आलिया रहिए मेरे साथ। जनरल हसनैन, व्हाट डू यू मेक ऑफ दिस? आलिया सेज पाकिस्तान इज हेडिंग टुवर्ड्स एनार्की. So is Imran Khan actually now waging war against Pakistan?
Gaurav, thank you for having me on your show. Very important program today. Yes, I do agree with her entirely. Pakistan is hurtling towards more chaos, more turbulence. Streets are going to go afire probably for some time. And all this Pakistan has seen before. We've seen this over the last 5 years, Imran Khan holding the whole nation to her hostage many times. But it's not come in sync with the situation which is existing today on the other side in Pakistan. And that is its economy. It's absolutely in the doldrums. This is the time when the leadership should be seen to be working together. There should be some sense of unity at this particular time. None of this is possible in Pakistan's politics. And this is something which is so regretful, which is what is leading most reviewers, most analysts to believe, is the Pakistan army likely to step in? Now that is a second separate question.
I will come to
Because-
that in just
Yeah,
a
we
moment.
will come to that.
Is
Yes.
martial law the only alternative in Pakistan? Fakhar Yusufzai, we are told the DIG has been injured. Shehzad Bukhari, very senior police officer, he was leading the operations, and he said just a short while back, we will not leave without arresting Imran Khan. Is this rhetoric? Is he serious? Fakhar Yusufzai, in your view, is Pakistan heading towards chaos? Will Imran Khan be arrested?
Thank you very much, Gaurav. It's a big drama. We are watching this from last almost 9 years, from 2014, when Imran Khan was sitting in
chief,
Islamabad
yes.
in D Chowk, and from his 126-day dharna to 2023. We are seeing this type of dramas every day on the daily basis. I think so. The Pakistan problem is not to arrest Imran Khan or not. The Pakistan problem is right now a security situation, collapsing economy, inflation. These are the biggest issue right now for all the nation in Pakistan. Imran Khan is nothing, I think so. He is trying to protect himself with the help of his worker. I think so. He's not a leader. He's not a political person. If he's a political person, he should go to jail. What is that? We have seen lots of people, Benazir Shaheed, Asif Ali Zardari, Mian Nawaz Sharif, Maryam Nawaz, Shehbaz Sharif, everyone, including Maulana Fazlur Rahman.
No, that's a good point. Why is Imran Khan scared to go to jail? We'll discuss that in a moment. Rana Sanaullah, the interior minister, he says, and so do PDM leaders, that Imran Khan is a drug addict. He's scared to go to jail because his drugs will be caught out. Fakhar Yusufzai, am I right? Is that the problem? Is that the reason why Imran Khan doesn't want to go to jail?
Actually, गौरव जी, वो वैसे कहता तो है कि मैं बड़ा बहादुर लीडर हूं, लेकिन वो बड़ा डरपोक मुझे लगा अभी तक जो मैंने उसको देखा है। बिल्कुल सही है, ही इज एडिक्ट, वो करता है ये चीज जिसकी वजह से ही इज नॉट रेडी टू गो जेल, क्योंकि वहां पे तो ये चीजें नहीं होंगी। वहां पे आपको ये तो नहीं है कि मतलब आपने एक टांग पे पलिस्तर बांधा हुआ और आप यूं करके लेटे हुए, कभी जिल्ले शाह के फादर को बुलाते हैं कंडोलेंस के लिए और इस तरह की चीजें करते हैं। आई थिंक सो दिस इज नॉट अ लीडरशिप, इट्स अ बिग ड्रामा।
बेटा मर गया, जिसका बेटा मारा गया, उसको आप 2.5 घंटे इंतजार कराते हैं जी। और let me also bring in Colonel Rohit Dev. Colonel Rohit Dev, where is the Pakistan army in all of this? And I'll get Alia also to respond to that, because Pakistan army could be a stabilizing factor, but this instability seems to be increasing, Colonel Dev.
It is rightly so, Gaurav, and because a puppet show can be stopped by the person who's controlling the puppet, and in this case, what's happening is like a normal puppet show. The crowd also wants to keep the show alive. So there is a link which is running right from the military and going down till the people. So military is also a little scared and skeptical of what action to be taken. So to say that it's a democratic country, they've just come out of the FATF lane as well. This country is trying to show that the police has gone to arrest an individual who's been given a non-bailable warrant. But if you see the legal connotation of the entire drama which is happening, there is still time for 18th March, and there is no rush or was no rush to go in this fashion to arrest him. And like the previous speaker said, that they have seen this drama being evoked many a times. I think this is one such case. Stepping in of the Pakistani army to take control maybe today and tomorrow is out of question, because that will put Pakistan again on a back foot, because it's now trying to seek a lot of money for many things across the world.
Let me get Alia to respond. Let me get Alia to respond to this. Alia, Pakistan की जो आर्मी है वो किसके साथ है? वो मरियम नवाज के साथ है या वो इमरान खान के साथ है? वो और क्या आलिया इलेक्शंस होंगे पाकिस्तान में या पोस्टपोन होंगे, जिस तरह की बातें मरियम नवाज कह रही हैं?
Gaurav, I think Pakistan army is with themselves because somebody is saying that there maybe there is opportunity for someone or for a few stakeholders who can say that this is the situation. So जो मुल्क है वो इस तरह नहीं चल सकता, so we can take over. No, this is option out. No, this option is totally out. Okay. Because first of all, our economy is collapsed.
Yes.
And this is not the time, because army, whenever they want to take over, they need money. They will come when country is very prosperous. They will not come in this situation. And secondly, there is a big campaign against institutions. You know that. Imran Khan and his supporters, they run aggressive campaign, and there is division in society. So I don't think that this is the time for army to take over.
General, that's a very
But
interesting
there
point.
are other.
So go on, Alia. Quickly complete your point, ma'am. Boliye.
Can I say one more thing, that there are other ways how they can rule, because somebody say puppets. Yes, that is true. He is their puppet, and all political parties in Pakistan, here is their role to construct party, to build leaders, and after that they said no, he is not right for us. Now this is the time to what I want to say. So there are other ways to rule this
Pakistan
country.
army will rule by proxy, but the situation right now,
politicians,
okay, the situation right now, General, one would have thought that political parties will come together, but this war, it's a blood feud between Maryam Nawaz on one side and Imran Khan on the other side. They hate each other, they want each other dead. Is it your assessment, General, that Imran Khan, if arrested, this is his fear, he may end up like Benazir Bhutto, assassinated by a so-called terrorist, or Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, hanged by the army?
You're absolutely right, Gaurav. First of all, we must remember, that the Pakistan army today is not as strong as it was perhaps in 2018. General Bajwa was a much stronger chief. He had already been chief for 2.5 years by that time. And the whole concept of a selected prime minister, you yourself used to call him a selected prime minister. We used to all call Imran Khan a selected prime minister. Today, Pakistan army, I'm not sure. I speak to analysts in Pakistan and they tell me that the Pakistan army doesn't have it in it to be able to carry out the act of selecting a prime minister. So that is something which is quite doubtful at the moment. The Pakistan army, to my mind, will stand by at the moment and keep watching this turbulence, hoping like hell that it will resolve itself. Also, the other factor you got to remember, the IMF loan which is to come to it, the tranche of $1.3 billion which has to reach Pakistan. If the Pakistan army takes over, the IMF is not going to write that check in a hurry.
Absolutely.
And this is something that has to be kept in mind by all analysts. The Pakistan army is going to keep itself away from all this because it knows the moment it steps in, money is going to dry up.
Okay.
And so that's a very, very important aspect.
Will Imran Khan be arrested tonight or in the days ahead? Fakhar Yusufzai, look at the number of police personnel. We are now told Pakistan Rangers have gone in, and now it is the majesty of the Pakistani state. Imran Khan can't defy the Pakistani state 3 times. पुलिस 3 बार लौट के जा चुकी है. अगर आज भी पुलिस बेरंग लौट गई, बिना गिरफ्तार किए लौट गई, तो इमरान खान विल बी बिगर देन द पाकिस्तानी स्टेट. लेकिन अगर इमरान खान अरेस्ट होते हैं तो इमरान खान के बाद लीडर कौन है? शाह महमूद कुरैशी होंगे, शेख रशीद होंगे, कोई और होंगे, या पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ पार्टी टूट जाएगी?
सबसे पहले तो मैं ये बता दूं, मुझे नहीं लगता कि आज भी इमरान खान नियाजी साहब अरेस्ट होंगे, पहली बात. फिर उसके बाद आप कहते हैं कि जी स्टेट ऑफ पाकिस्तान, तो स्टेट ऑफ पाकिस्तान ही ने उनको 2018 में जिस तरीके से जितवाया था, मेरे खैबर पुख्तनख्वा में 2 दफ़ा ये लोग जीत चुके हैं. वहाँ पे मैं 2013 और 18 दोनों को मैंने कवर किया एज ए जर्नलिस्ट, दोनों इलेक्शन, जनरल इलेक्शंस को. जो कुछ वहाँ पे हमने देखा और जो कुछ वहाँ पूरे पाकिस्तान में हुआ, तो इमरान खान साहब को वैसे लाडला नहीं कहते. मैं ये नहीं है कि मैं कोई कहता हूँ कि शहबाज शरीफ या नवाज शरीफ बहुत अच्छे हैं, बट इमरान खान इज़ नॉट अ चॉइस. ठीक है. और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि इन्होंने ही लाडला बना के उसको हमारे सर पे बिठा दिया था, मुसल्लत कर दिया था. 3.5 ईयर उनके लिए मीडिया को मैनेज किया गया, उनके लिए सब लोगों को मैनेज किया गया. ये सबको पता कौन करता रहा. और जहां तक बात है कि आर्मी की रूल करने की, तो आर्मी इज रूलिंग फ्रॉम लास्ट 75 ईयर्स इन पाकिस्तान राइट नाउ. आज भी कौन कर रहा है रूल? कौन कहता कि शहबाज शरीफ इज अ प्राइम मिनिस्टर? ही इज अ प्राइम मिनिस्टर बट ऑन द फ्रंट, नॉट जिसे कहते हैं कि मैं ये नहीं कह सकता कि वो एक प्रॉपर प्राइम मिनिस्टर है कि वो डिसीजन वहीं पे पीएम ऑफिस इस्लामाबाद में हमारे होते हैं, कभी नहीं होते। जिस दिन हमारे डिसीजन इस्लामाबाद में पॉलिटिकली होने लगे तो गौरव जी हमारी जो हालत है ये चेंज हो जाएगी, हम बेहतरी की तरफ जाएंगे। लेकिन इस वक्त गवर्नमेंट भी एक मतलब एक डिफिकल्ट जिसे कहते हैं सिचुएशन से गुजर रही है।
Is Imran Khan then a Frankenstein's monster created by Pakistan Army, and now Pakistani state does not know how to handle him, and he's calling for the court-martial of General Qamar Javed Bajwa?
एक तरफ मरियम नवाज साहिबा कह रही,
I think
30 seconds.
The Frankenstein has got also the popular support in many quarters of Pakistan.
Of the jihadis.
Pakistan is in a economic abyss. Pakistan has got a problem of internal conflicts. Pakistan has to see more than one front. You see, today they went to his place to arrest him, and the entire chaos has erupted all over Pakistan. So he does not have a non-popular mandate. He does have a little popularity there, and that is what the Frankenstein is all about. So the people now are invested in him, and he has been talking to the people since he has been ousted. So I think that there is a big game ahead, and I mean, if he doesn't get arrested today, it's a hat trick of sorts. So he will be very reveling in that kind of a drama. But I'm quite sure he'll be produced in front of the court by 18th of March. They cannot take more than this. And he might be
Alia Shah,
out
Fakar
on bail
Yusufzai, and you know, their team of very able reporters in Pakistan will be reporting on this big story. But for joining me, Alia Shah, Fakar Yusufzai, General Atta Hasnain and Colonel Rohit Dev, as always, many thanks. We will be tracking developments in Pakistan very closely, because you must know what's happening on the other side of the hill. To be forewarned is to be forearmed, especially about what's happening to your adversaries. A quick break. Business Today, that's coming up next. Stay with us.
India Today Conclave 2023, March 17th and 18th, New Delhi. Listen to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Justice Dhananjay Y. Chandrachud, Amit Shah, Sachin Tendulkar and Ram Charan. The India Moment.
The story of Lakshmi is a source of inspiration. Despite frugal means, Lakshmi has built a business she's proud of. But it did not come easy. After working in a wide array of jobs, Lakshmi got headlong into the dry cleaning and ironing business. She now caters to over 300 families.
ये हमारा जो प्रोफेशन है वो फैमिली बिजनेस है। मेरे हस्बैंड प्राइवेट सेक्टर में जॉब करते थे। जब लॉकडाउन लगा तो उनकी वो जॉब छूट गई थी। तो ये फैमिली बिजनेस था, हाथ का हुनर था, तो मैंने एक बार बाहर आजमाने की कोशिश की। शुरू में 16 किलोमीटर ड्राइव करके जाना बहुत काफ़ी ऐसा लगता था, पता नहीं कितना दूर जंगल में आना पड़ रहा है।
With all her hard work and dedication, Lakshmi soon took a shop on rent in a housing complex in Jaipur. She has employed 3 people to help her. Lakshmi has not only managed to build a profitable business, she has also given hope and aspirations to her children.
मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि मम्मी पापा दोनों काम करते हैं हमारे लिए, और मेरा भाई और मैं मतलब अच्छे से पढ़ पाते हैं उस वजह से। मम्मी और पापा बिजनेस करते हैं और इतना दूर जाते हैं, तो हमें बहुत सपोर्ट मिलता है उन दोनों से।
Lakshmi's elder son is pursuing BTech and dreams of joining the Indian Navy after graduation. Her younger son plans to open a cafe.
39-year-old Lakshmi is no less than a superwoman for her family. Despite frugal means and the initial hardship, through her grit and perseverance, Lakshmi has managed to put the family business on the path to progress and given her children the hope and the aspiration to dream big. With camera person Nikhil Devankur Vadhavan in Jaipur for India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Very good evening. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Nabila Jamal. Let me take you through the top news. Assurances by US authorities and even US President Joe Biden do very little to soothe investor nerves. Collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank reverberates across the world. Bank and financial stocks take the biggest hit. Use the Indian banking system instead of banks in the US. That's the message coming from IT Minister of State Rajiv Chandrasekhar to startups hit by the SVB debacles. It's a Business Today TV exclusive. Now, State Bank of India hikes its lending rate by massive 70 basis points, floating home loans to become more expensive. Other banks expected to follow suit soon. Huge sell-off in Adani Group shares yet again, and the issue brings the parliament to a halt. Investors lose as much as 44,000 crore rupees as Adani Enterprises hits the lower circuit in the trade. And Indian stock markets follow the global cues. Fall for a fourth straight day on Silicon Valley Bank jitters. Sensex down 338 points. Nifty down by 111 points. Now, contagion from the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank and the Signature Bank in the United States continues to spread despite assurances coming by the Joe Biden administration. Bank stocks across the world are now bearing the brunt of diminishing investor sentiment. This comes even as Moody's placed 6 American banks under review for downgrade. Let's have a look.
Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them. Small businesses across the country, the deposit accounts at these banks can breathe easier knowing they'll be able to pay their workers and pay their bills. And their hardworking employees can breathe easier as well.
The reassurance seemingly mattered little to investors and traders, with banking shares taking a big hit from first 2 days of the week. The emergency measures to provide additional funding to banks also did little to enthuse investors. Banking stocks declined in the US on Monday. And the worry spread to Asian markets on Tuesday, with bank indices plunging by more than 5%. Japanese firms were hit particularly hard, with anxiety about systematic risk leading the wider market lower. Analysts are now hoping that the US Federal Reserve will stop or at least slow its pace of rate hikes.
I think people believe that this will now, cause the Fed to slow down or even pause for a while. I haven't heard anything from them so far today in terms of what their plan is. So I would have to go with what they've been saying, which is they're going to continue to raise rates until they can tamp down inflation. And that job's not even close to being done yet. And so that leads us to the big question about whether we will or we won't have a recession. And if we do, how big of a recession is it going to be? And I think we're definitely probably have a recession on the horizon.
Although inflation has been moderating in recent months.
The brisk pace of rate hikes by the US Central Bank is in part being held responsible for the banking sector woes. Interest rates in the US have been hiked by a massive 4.25% in the past 1 year, bringing them to a near 15-year high of 4.75%. This made funds costlier and tightened the flow of money, making financing difficult for banks. The so-called funding winter forced tech firms to withdraw their deposit from banks. At the same time, higher interest rates resulted in a fall in government securities, in which Silicon Valley Bank has been investing in. The bank was forced to sell these funds at a loss to cover the withdrawals. The news created panic among depositors, resulting in a run on the bank. Meanwhile, rating agency Moody's placed First Republic Bank and 5 other US lenders on review for downgrade. These include the Western Alliance Bank Corporation, Intrust Financial Corporation, UMB Financial Corporation, Zions Bank Corporation, and Comerica. Analysts say uncertainty continues to dog the sector, with investors still extremely worried about the health of smaller global banks. The prospect of tighter regulation and a preference to protect depositors at the expense of shareholders should other banks fail. Major US banks lost around $90 billion in stock market value on Monday, bringing their loss over the past 3 trading sessions to nearly $190 billion. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Now, as Business Today TV has already said earlier, several Indian startups have been hit hard by the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank in the United States. The IT ministry today met more than 400 startups, funds and other stakeholders to seek their inputs on this matter. My colleague Aishwarya Paliwal caught up with the Minister of State Rajiv Chandrasekhar and started the conversation itself by asking him about the impact of what's happening in the United States over Indian startup ecosystem. Have a listen.
I'm pretty confident after today's conversation and following very closely the events of the last 5 days, 6 days, that the crisis that was represented by the Silicon Valley Bank implosion, the biggest crisis has passed. There are still some lingering impacts of that on our startup ecosystem. We have had a long discussion today with over 400 startups and funds and other stakeholders. And it is clear that the US government's decision yesterday to essentially ensure that all depositors will be made whole, and therefore all depositors will seek not to lose any money as a consequence of the Silicon Valley Bank implosion, is a big step towards resolving this crisis. There is a residual problem that remains, which is the liquidity and access to those deposits and the time frame by which our startups can access the money. And so therefore, since those doubts are remaining, we have today spoken with the startups and said, if the government has to evolve a framework of giving them some funding, deposit-backed liquidity, we will certainly recommend that to the Finance Ministry and the RBI. And that I reiterated that it is the Prime Minister's absolute, unrelenting, undiluted and unambiguous goal that we will be supportive of them today as we navigate them through this crisis and ongoing if there are any similar problems in the future. So the issue is, I think, that the crisis that we saw 4 days ago, 5 days ago, is no longer the crisis that we see today. It is a much narrower issue, and we are fairly confident that we'll be on top of that.
Did you see any kind of fear amongst, you are saying that, there were almost 400 startups. Do you believe there's a lot of fear in them? And how confident do you think the government is of helping, if not all the startups, at least a majority of them?
Yeah, so look, understand this. These are all very young companies, youngsters who have built these companies on the basis of their ingenuity and their innovation. They've got their investors to invest. And they did what they thought was a very smart and prudent thing to do, which is deposit their money and their equity proceeds in a blue chip bank, or what they thought was a blue chip American bank. And turns out the blue chip American bank wasn't a blue chip American bank. So I think most of them are suffering from, I'm not trying to being humorous about this, but they're suffering from some sort of trauma for sure. This is not something that any young entrepreneur or startup have signed up to worry about the bank where they put their deposits going under. But it is what it is. And I think out of this, these startups and these young entrepreneurs will emerge tougher and stronger. And certainly the government of India and the unstinting support and the monitoring by the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister of the situation from the first day onwards is a signal to these startups that, look, the government is rock solid behind you, laser focused on solving these issues, and will be with you to evolve much more medium-term and long-term solutions that are built around them having much more trust and reliance on the Indian banking system, rather than having to go thousands of miles away and rely on a bank that may or may not go bust at some point in the future. So I think some of the conversation today was also about what can we do to make sure that they use the banking system that India represents and is so strong and is so resilient today in the face of the COVID and post-COVID. How can we make the Indian banking system be their go-to banking partner rather than a US bank or a European bank?
Now, can a Silicon Valley bank-like collapse also happen in India? Reserve Bank of India's Financial Stability Report, released barely 3 months ago, gives an insight into this very possibility. Joining us now on this show is Anand Adhikari, who is the managing editor of Business Today magazine. Anand, thank you very much for your inputs here. But Anand, what's the real possibility of something like a collapse that happened in at the Silicon Valley Bank itself happening here in India?
Very rare. The entire crisis at SVB started, with the losses in its, investment book, because there's a pressure on, this mark-to-mark losses because of a 450 basis point hike, the Fed rate. Now, if you look at India, the rate hike, is like 250 basis point, since May last year, which is little over half, than what the US did. Second, if you look at the Indian banks, portfolio, they are majorly into credit, not that much into, investment. And that saves them because they earn a lot of interest and the non-interest income, which, in many times also offset the losses if they make any on the, treasury side. Now, even if one look at the GSEC portfolio, there we have, held to maturity, we have held for trading, and we also have, held for sale. Now, most of the portfolio of Indian bank is, locked in held to maturity, where there is no requirement of, mark-to-market losses. And finally, even RBI, in 2008, they came out with a, counter-cyclical macro-prudential measure where, they asked bank to create an investment fluctuation reserve fund, where when the interest rate go down, whatever profits they make, in the investment portfolio, they have to, keep as a provision. So, if you look at all these 4-5, factors, we are in a much better position,
right,
I would say.
But what makes you really say sternly that Indian banks are better placed than their US counterparts?
Now, in case of, SVB, if you look at, there's a high concentration, in terms of, investment in one single sector that was a startup. Now, if you look at the Indian bank, the business model of Indian bank, they are much diversified. They are into corporate, they are into retail, they are into MSME, and even the corporate portfolio, if one look at, they have even loaned to, very high rated, corporates in India, and they are present in all from manufacturing to, services sector. So if you look at the business model, they are well diversified, here in India. The second, if I look at the balance sheet, strength, there are gross NPAs are like, 7-year low, at 4%. If you look at the net NPAs, they're 10-year low. If you look at the NPA provisioning, coverage, this, PCR, is over 70%, which is well over, the RBI's minimum, threshold. Even the net profits, the kind of net profits we have seen, I think, 1.8 lakh crore in 21-22. And I was looking at, the first half figure of 22-23, profits are already, 40% up. So in terms of the business model, in terms of the balance sheet strength, I think they are, Indian banks are well placed.
Right. Now, how have rising interest rates affected the health of Indian banks, though?
See, again, broadly, if you see the corporate book and the, the retail book, on the corporate side, we have not seen much lending, because the capacity utilization is, very low. So not much lending has happened there. So I don't think, the corporates, we have seen any, deceleration there. But on the retail side, retail is one segment that has been, growing in the last 4-5 years. And we will see some impact there on the retail side because banks have been growing, the unsecured loan or the MSME. And that's where we could see some stress, going forward because of, rise in the rates. And even the transmission part, if you see, we have not seen the full impact of interest rate transmission, to the final borrower. And that will happen in the next, let's say, 3 to 4 quarters. And if I compare, Indian banks with the SVB, we only have, one small category, which is called, small finance bank. Their portfolio is slightly, concentrated in micro loans. So maybe we'll see some impact on the MSME side in the large bank, and also in the small finance bank. Yes, I mean we could see some stress going forward.
All right. Thank you very much, Anand, for joining us on that. All right. Now, on that note, let's slip into a quick break. On the other side, we bring you a lot more on the new government rules that will allow you to delete pre-installed apps on your mobile phones. Stay with us. We show you how.
Age is just a number. This line fits perfectly for Dharamchand from Haryana. He is 86 but is still running, jumping and winning medals. His secret?
मैं बच्चों को सबको यही प्रेरणा देता हूँ कि आप मेरी तरह ग्राउंड के साथ जुड़े और सब वैभव से मुक्त होकर आप अपनी सेहत को, अपने शरीर को ठीक रखें। सन 68 से लेकर आज तक मैं कंटिन्यूड रेगुलर पोजीशन लेता आ रहा हूँ।
The 4th National Masters Athletics Championship, which recently took place in Kurukshetra, saw more than 2,400 participants from 22 states. 72-year-old Mahavir Singh is one of them.
मैं यही संदेश देना चाहता हूँ, भाई नशे से दूर रहें और खेलों से जुड़ें। आप खेलना जरूरी है, कोई जरूरी नहीं कोई मेडल जीते। मेरे को 40 साल खेलते हुए हो गए हैं और 20 साल से मैं इसमें मास्टर एथलेटिक्स एसोसिएशन में खेलता हूँ।
Several women also participated in different events.
हमारे टाइम में लड़कियों को खेलने का मौका नहीं मिलता था, तो एक अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म मुझे लगता है कि ये हमें मिला है कि इस उम्र में आके भी हम मेहनत करके अपनी अचीवमेंट ले सकते हैं। और एक ये ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है कि इस पे अगर आप आएंगे तो शायद मुझे जो लगता है, अपने जीवन से जो लगता है कि हम किसी गलत ट्रैक पर नहीं जाएंगे।
The message these athletes are sending is, it is never too late to chase your passion. Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome back. The government is now reportedly planning some big changes for smartphone players in India. According to agency reports, the new rules could make it mandatory for smartphone manufacturers to allow removal of pre-installed apps and also mandate screening of major operating system updates. The proposed rules could extend launch timelines in the world's second largest smartphone market and lead to losses in business from pre-installed apps for players including Samsung, Xiaomi, Vivo and Apple. The new rules are being considered amid concerns about spying and abuse of user data. Fears of China exploiting the app ecosystem have led to a ban on more than 300 Chinese apps, including that of TikTok. The Indian indices extended their fall to a fourth straight day today, with bank stocks remaining under pressure. Consumer inflation figures from Monday also weighed heavily on the trade, with analysts preparing for further interest rate hikes. Sensex fell 338 points today, closing below the psychologically important levels of 58,000. The BSE index has fallen nearly 2,500 points in 4 trading